Often when a new mother who initially planned on breastfeeding starts to consider supplementing with formula, she is doing so because she's concerned about how much breast milk her newborn is getting. Here is a scenario that will help you give mom the information she needs to make an informed decision about her child's feeding plan.
Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning.
Hi, my name's Audrey. I'm going to be your nurse for today. Congratulations on your new baby, Lila.
Oh, thank you.
So tell me, how is feeding going?
It's going fairly well. We've been up a lot during the night. I'm not sure if she's getting enough. Neither one of us have slept much, and I think she might need some formula until my milk comes in.
It's not uncommon for mothers to feel concerned in the early days. Frequent feeding can be challenging, especially at nighttime. So tell me about last night. What were your feedings like for the two of you?
I keep feeding her and she falls asleep, and as soon as I try to move, she wakes up. I'm not sure that the small amount that I'm giving her is enough.
Frequent feeding can help your body build up a plentiful milk supply, but I do understand that you're concerned and are considering giving her some formula. But before you give her formula, I'd like to make sure that you have all the information that you need to make the best decision for you and your baby and your situation. Would that be okay?
That sounds good.
So what was your original feeding plan before your baby was born?
I was planning on breastfeeding. I wasn't planning on giving her formula, but I want to do what is best for her.
Of course. So because you were intending to exclusively breastfeed, I would like to help you stick with that plan if possible. So know that a feeding plan can change. If you decide to change that feeding plan, I will support you. So what do you know about how formula can impact breastfeeding?
I know that it can decrease my milk supply. I know that some of my friends have used formula and they've been okay with it.
Okay, yeah, it's true that formula feeding can lower your milk supply. What are some reasons your friends used formula?
I think they used formula because they could see how much their baby was getting.
Giving formula may make it seem easier to know how much the baby is getting, but there are lots of other ways to feel confident that your baby is getting enough. So have you noticed some signs that Lila shows you that she's drinking well when she's breastfeeding?
I can hear the caw noise, and the other nurse showed me how to watch her jaw to see that she's swallowing, and I think she does that.
That's right. Is there anything else that she does that lets you know she's drinking well?
Well, wet diapers and a weight gain, I guess.
That's right. Wet diapers, weight gain, that caw sound when she's swallowing are all good signs that baby is transferring milk well. So it is true that many mothers may use formula, but we find some moms, lots of moms actually, will introduce formula and then say later that they didn't get all the information they needed at the time to make the best decision. I just want to ensure that when you look back, you feel confident that you had enough information to make an informed decision about what was best for you and your baby. So here are some points I'd like you to be aware of. In the early days, babies need very little breast milk because their tummy size is actually very small. And the small amount of colostrum that they get, if they're well latched, is really all that they need. I'm happy to watch you breastfeed Lila when she wakes up. I might be able to give you some tips to help her get as much milk as she can while she's breastfeeding. How does that sound?
That sounds good. I'd like you to have a look if you don't mind.
Sure, every feeding can be different with a new baby. You mentioned you were considering formula. Remember, babies are often fussy and feed really frequently in the early days. Some babies are fussy even when the feeding has gone well, and that doesn't mean that they need extra food. It's important to look at the whole picture, like swallowing and output and weight gain. Giving formula, if it's not needed, can reduce your milk supply. Can you tell me what Lila's diapers have been like?
She's had 2 pees and 2 poops today.
And what does the poop look like?
It's starting to turn yellow.
That sounds about right. So tell me about her weight since she's been born.
She's lost a little bit of weight, but no one seems too concerned about it.
Okay, well, I'll check her chart and see what her current weight is compared to her birth weight. Many babies lose a bit of weight in the beginning. It doesn't sound like there's any reason to be concerned that she's not getting enough. However, as mom, you do get to make the final decision about how you want to feed your baby. So I can assist you with breastfeeding to make sure Lila is breastfeeding well, and then show you how to do some breast compressions and something called switch nursing, where you offer the breast more than once during a feed. Hand expression can also be very helpful. Have you heard about it?
I heard about it in prenatal classes, but I haven't tried it myself.
Well, I'm more than happy to show you how to hand express. You can offer some colostrum after the feed if it's needed. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
So after Lila shows signs that she's full, I'll show you a few ways you can settle her during fussy times. So how about you place her skin to skin? You might get her ready for a feed. And I'll just go wash my hands. I'll be right back with some of the things we've discussed, okay?
Okay, thank you.
If a mother who initially planned on breastfeeding becomes concerned about how much milk her baby is getting, here are some steps you can take to make sure she has the information she needs to make an informed decision about supplementing with formula. Explore the current feeding situation and provide her with some positive feedback. If she originally planned on breastfeeding exclusively, help her stick to that plan or return to it as soon as possible if she wishes to do so. Explain how formula may affect her milk supply. Review that if using formula, there are a few items to consider to reduce the risks of formula feeding and keep her baby as healthy as possible. Explain the various ways she can tell her baby is getting enough breast milk while breastfeeding. Listen for the caw sound while feeding. Watch the baby's jaw pause to signal swallowing. Watch for regular wet and soiled diapers. And monitor weight gain. Explain that newborns need very little food in the first few days. Reassure her that babies are often fussy and that it doesn't necessarily indicate hunger. Offer to assist with breastfeeding and hand expression if she is agreeable. Support her to feel good about her feeding decision and to keep her baby as healthy as possible. And provide information about who to contact if she has questions, needs support, or her feeding plan changes in the future.